One day after the rollout of the licenses for Webinar Closer, where we give the opportunity to get an engine from webinarcloser.com to use by yourself and use it as kind of service and business model. Here a quick update and documentation. You will find the whole documentation of webinarcloser.com on doc.webinarcloser.com. That's actually this presentation. And you will find a lot of videos on my timeline and YouTube as well. So you should be familiar with this graphic. If not, that's actually one engine. We call it engine. Every one of those things is a partnership with a webinar runner. So we have actually 1, 2, 3, 4 active engines, which means 4 partnerships with webinar runners where we close their webinar offer to non-buyers and we close back-end offers to the buyers. And what we did is we said we will go for maximum 5. So as you see, 4 are active, 1 is on track. But anyway, with our licensing model, we give actually away one of these engines to probably you, so you can run this. What that means for you is we will take care about making a partnership with Webinar Runner, and there are a lot of people in the line. But beside this, yesterday one of the guys who were interested in getting a licensee to get the engine, which I will go a little bit deeper in a moment, he asked me, and you will see this on my timeline, he asked for a specific webinar he wanted to work with because he actually went through the webinar. He bought the stuff. I never heard about this webinar rather, but anyway. And he said, look, if you, Mark, can build up a partnership with this particular company for this particular webinar to close those attendees, I will buy a licensee and I will go for it. The reason is pretty simple. He went through the webinar and he has a lot of success, whatever that means, with the product he bought at the end. So why not help people out who went through the same webinar? Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I never thought about this concept. So if you went through a webinar and you bought something and you have success, then why not buy a licensee and we will hook up with the webinar runner to tell them, look, we've got someone in place who went through your webinar, who bought your product, who is highly successful with it, who is happy with it, who is passionate about it, and he would like to talk with your non-buyers with own experience why they should buy your stuff. You can probably imagine that will increase sales dramatically. I never thought about that, but I found it really cool stuff as well to find people or give people an opportunity who, as I said, went through a webinar, bought the product, and are familiar with that. And by the way, you probably went through a webinar, you bought the product, and you're successful, and you would like to promote it. So that's what I have to offer. You can promote it to actual hot leads who went through the webinar. Call them, tell them your experience, nothing to hide. You can talk about the stuff because you went through, and on and on. But anyway, let me go through what we did now. Okay, so we actually sold 2 of these engines, which means with a licensee, it's this one. Partnership 2 is sold and partnership 4 is sold. Partnership 4 is actually the thing I documented everything. You remember that that's the guy which runs 2 webinars per week with maximum of 30 attendees, 997 product in the webinar offer, pretty awesome. I document that and we will have a look what happened since yesterday. And what that means for us is pretty cool. Now, we have Webinar Closer licensees. The licensees are actually run this engine and this engine, which is this one and this one, right? Partnership 2 and 4. We gave them away out of our environment to a licensee hand, which will handle the stuff we did, right? Again, we built up the partnership. We take care about how does it work and stuff like that. For sure, you probably, if you have no idea, which is not the best idea, you have to go to the webinar, blah, blah, blah. So we explained that. And what happened now is we have 2 licensee buyers who will run these engines on their behalf. And the cool part for us is we have 2 more spots available, which means from all these people who ask me, or with all the people I truly want to work with, which I do by simple ask them. I send messages, I call people. If you look this short presentation here, I probably hit you up. Do you run a webinar? Let's talk about this, blah blah. That's what I do. I do not really do marketing for that stuff. I just scroll my network, and I will partner up with them to increase their sales by implementing the webinarcloser.com service. So what that means is we can restart actually 2 engines, and that's pretty awesome. I mean, we never planned that, but now people wanted to have it, and actually people wanted to make profit out of it. And as a licensee, you get a lot of stuff you can make profit out of it. So let's have a look at the dashboard of this engine, which is again this one, the guy with the 2 webinars per week, which we sold yesterday to licensee, let's say licensee 2. And here is what happened today. Today is actually the 3rd of May. Date today, oh, it's the 2nd, sorry. Yesterday we rolled it out, so today is the 2nd. So let's have a look what happened here. Let's go to the 2nd of May, which is today. And as you see, already generated 2 new clients, which is a gross revenue of almost $2,000. And with the licensee he bought, he can keep 50% out of it, which is $1,000, which is awesome. Okay, so that's $1,000 day just by using the Webinar Closer licensee service by hit up the non-buyers and sell them stuff. And again, with this guy here, that's what we set up now. As you see on my post, you can go to my Facebook timeline, and we just made up this partnership with this guy who wanted explicit something with a particular company and product. That's what we did, and that's actually what we will put into this engine. And as soon as it's run, it will go to yellow. If we are on track, actually now it is yellow, so I can do yellow probably, because we already are in touch with this guy and we do this, and partnership is closed as soon as we move on, and then it will go to one of the licensees. So we sold 3 licensees for this particular webinarcloser.com licensee product, which is pretty awesome. And again, we started yesterday on the 1st of May. We sold 2 licensees, and 1 already generated for the guy who got the license $2,000 in just, let's say, almost 24 hours, which is probably not that hard, because as I said, the engine licensees get all the leads from the non-buyers, and all you have to do is follow up with them, ask a few questions, we teach you how and stuff, and that's actually it. Yeah, that was a quick update. So if you're interested in getting a licensee, hit me up. You will find a way. You can go to webinarcloser.com. You will find on the bottom an email address. There is not really a kind of sales page or page where you can fill in an application to get a licensee. We do this at the moment just with my Facebook stuff to documentate everything. Or if you know me, just send me a message. Or if we think it's something for you, we will contact you anyway, which we already did probably. But it's open for everyone. So if that looks something like you are interested in, send me a message and let's discuss the greater details. As I said, if you went through a webinar and you bought the product and you're happy with it, tell me who is it, and we can probably set a partnership up with this guy. We will handle that for you, so you don't have to take care about the heavy weightlifting. We do this. And yeah, it's pretty awesome. We have actually 6 different price plans for licensees to actually get one of those engines. So yeah, up to you. I would love to work with you, give you this opportunity as licensee. Believe me, webinar runners will not run out. The only thing we actually have a problem with is we don't have enough human resources to handle all the requests we have from webinar runners. So it's pretty much a long-term opportunity, which for sure can make you a lot of time for your life, stuff like that. Again, go to webinarcloser.com, and the bottom you will find an email address, or just send me a message on Facebook. That will be the shortest way. Thanks for watching this. Have a great morning, evening, or afternoon. Talk to you soon. Bye bye. Thanks.